Welcome to the Warrior Word, the first and final word on Warrenton High School athletics. The Warrior Word is brought to you by Warrenton Kia and heard exclusively on 106.3 The Beach.
Good evening and welcome to the Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach, your new home for the Warrior Word this school year. And it's a weekly chat show brought to you by Warrenton Kia, and it's on all things Warrior sports with the Warrenton High School Athletic Director, Robert Hopeful. And we've got a new fall season of Warrior sports to talk about. We had our first show last week, talked a little bit about football and cross country and the volleyball team, and we're going to do the same thing this week. Robert, you actually have a couple of your athletes in the studio, so you'll be talking to them as well. You got one cross-country athlete and one volleyball player in here. But let's talk about some football here to kick the show off. Unfortunately, the Warriors still looking for that first win on the season, so let's just talk about that latest game on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, thanks everybody for joining us this week on the Warrior Word. Always excited to have you guys listening. Thanks for all the support you give our athletics by listening and coming out to our games. As Sean briefly mentioned there in the intro, unfortunately we were unable to get another victory on Friday night versus Vernonia. There was some good takeaways from the game that we'll talk about here on the show today. We'll also be talking a little bit about volleyball, which is off to a fantastic start in league play. 2-0 in league play with 3-0 wins versus De La Salle and Clatskanie, with a huge game coming up this Thursday versus Rainier. Also some cross-country talk today. We actually have our cross-country athlete, Krista Morrill, in the booth tonight, and she'll be talking about the cross-country team. So going to be an exciting show for us. With that said, talking a little bit of football. Football team was unable to beat Vernonia this past Friday, 38-14, in a situation in which it was a tale of two halves. Actually, first half we played very poorly. I would say really, really underplayed. I would say after talking to the coaches and the players, they really felt like they were gonna be able to put up a better performance than they did in that first half. And it was 38-0 at halftime. Really in a situation where I think it was 21-0 in the first 5 or 6 minutes. We had a couple blunders, a couple mistakes. They ran some seam routes to start the game. First offensive play of the game for Vernonia. They ran a seam route. Kid was wide open. They missed it. Ran the exact same play 2 plays later. Was still open. Kid caught it for about a 45-yard play. We're able to punch it in a few plays later, and that kind of got the momentum rolling in the wrong direction. Was they were able to really jump out on us. I think it was a series of a lot of things defensively, not wrapping up in a couple situations, not being in the right positions, and offensively not being able to execute and get the first downs that we needed to keep them off the field. The good news is that after that, in the second half, we played extremely well. We won the second half 14-0. Wasn't a situation where they had their JV in or something. They still had all their starters in. And we looked like a completely different team, in particular late in the third quarter and early into the fourth quarter offensively, with 2 really, really impressive drives in which we worked our way down the field and were able to get a touchdown. The first drive I thought was the first time that our offense really looked like it clicked. They were mixing up the run and the pass. In a situation where we actually probably ran 3 or 4 different formations. We had some spread stuff. We had some multi-running back formations. We had some tight end formations. And we were spreading the ball around. About halfway through the third quarter, we had made an adjustment. We had returned Devin Bowser, who had started the year trying to play some running back for us. He's formerly an all-league lineman. They moved him back to the line, and he was doing some really good things in the line for us, giving our quarterback, Giovanni Martinez, a little more time. And on that drive, it just clicked. Freshman Trevor Secord was running the ball very well. Derek Ham had 2 or 3 big catches and the touchdown catch coming from the tight end position that looked really good. A few possessions later, Raymond Alcanbenez caught a long touchdown. Was able to get us up to 14, and our defense in the second half also played a lot better. We definitely made some halftime adjustments. Got to give Coach Jason Edwards, who's the head coach, Mike Larson, the defensive coordinator, a lot of credit for the adjustments they made at halftime because the issues that we were having in the first half, both offensively and defensively, were definitely shored up, and we were able to hold them scoreless and score 14 points. So hopefully we could take the performance in the second half against Vernonia and build off that and use it this Friday against Neocani. It's our first road game of the year. Definitely a winnable game, a game that I know our kids are looking forward to. We did manage to beat them last year. It's a team that we've had success in the past against in football, and hopefully that will continue this year. And I think week 2, of Coach Jason Edwards was really, I think I saw a lot of great things clicking. They really started to do a lot of really good things, and I'm really, really excited to see what they're going to do this week in week 3. And I think we're going to take that next step and be able to put it together for 4 quarters. With that said, we're very excited to have you this week on The Warrior Word. Going to be talking a lot of volleyball and cross country in the next few segments. We also have Claire Bussard in the booth, volleyball player. Going to be an exciting show and a lot of good things to talk about to you in the next couple segments. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be right back.
We'll take a time out here on The Warrior Word, brought to you each week by Warrenton Kia, and also thanks to our participating sponsors this year. It's South Jetty Dining Room and Bar in Hammond, and also Seaside Factory Outlets. So we'll keep talking Warriors fall sports here next on The Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach. And welcome back to the Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach. It's a weekly chat show with Robert Hopeful, the Warrenton High School Athletic Director, on all things Warrior sports, and is brought to you each week by Warrenton Kia. And now here's Greg from Warrenton Kia with this word from Warrenton Kia.
Did you know the 2016 Kia Soul was awarded the J.D. Power Award for the highest-ranked compact multi-purpose vehicle in initial quality for the second year in a row? Head down to Warrenton Kia. Whether it's new Kia or a top-quality pre-owned vehicle, Kia's Car Corner have you covered.
We'd also like to thank Warrenton Kia this year for starting a Prep Athlete of the Week. Greg is going to announce the first winner of the Warrenton High School Prep Athlete of the Week.
This week's Athlete of the Week is Landry Meathy.
Landry's a volleyball player at the high school. She's a 3-sport athlete. Not only does she play volleyball, she also plays basketball in the winter and softball in the fall, the spring. And I don't know if we mentioned on the show because of when it happened last year, but Landry was named first-team All-State in softball last year. She's had an incredible career. She was named Prep Athlete of the Week this week for playing volleyball. In particular, last night against Klatskanai, one of our biggest rivals at home in volleyball. She was all over the place. She had a bunch of kills, and I was most impressed by her defensive play, in which she was really all over the court. It was probably the best defensive game I've seen her play in her 4 years of varsity volleyball, and we're lucky to have her. So congratulations to Landry in that performance. On this segment, we're going to be talking a little bit of Warriors volleyball. In the booth today, I got Claire Bussard with me, Warrenton volleyball star, I'm going to go with. She's a 2-year starter for the volleyball team. She also plays softball and basketball as well. I'm just going to talk to her a little bit about the last 2 games we've had with De La Salle North Catholic and Klatskanai, both wins for the Warriors. So, Claire, first and foremost, welcome to the show. We had a big win on Friday down at De La Salle, which is always a tough place to play. Tell me a little bit about that game and what allowed you guys to beat them 3-0.
We did really well serving, which usually we struggle with. I think we only missed 1 serve, and that allowed us to get a big lead on them in all 3 games.
Wow, only missing 1 serve in 3 games is very impressive. That's something you have struggled with, in particular early in the year, so it's good to hear you guys shored that up. Looking at that game, you play setter. I think this year has been a huge jump for you from last year, especially in movement around the court. I've felt like you were able to get to a lot more stuff more easily this year, which allows us to hit the ball a lot better. What's been the biggest change for you working with Coach Hackworth and allowing you to move better? Is it just more athleticism as a sophomore, or is it something that else that's going on?
I think I've just gotten more used to it and more comfortable, and I know that I need to get it. So I'm just more comfortable getting there.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. We did play Klatskanai on Tuesday, which is one of our biggest rivals. It's always a good team to beat for us. It's one. I think them and Rainier are probably the games that we get up for the most. At that game last night, I thought we played pretty well. There was some things we could have done better. And in your opinion, what did we kind of struggle with to kind of allow those games to be pretty close, even though we did win 3-0? And we'll go from there.
I think we struggled a lot with serving again and just kind of communication on the floor.
What do you think the difference on Tuesday with the serving was compared to Friday? Is it just a mental focus thing, or do you think we actually serve better on the road?
I definitely think it's a mental focus thing. We get in our heads a lot, and that causes us to screw up.
Absolutely. previewing a little bit, on Thursday we do play Rainier, who's ranked in the top 3 in the state. They probably have the best volleyball player in our league. She was Player of the Year last year. She's probably a Division I level volleyball player. What's kind of the focus for our team going into that game with Rainier? What are the big keys to allow us to have a chance on Thursday night?
We're really going to need to work on our blocking and our defense when she attacks, because she hits so well from the front and the back row that we need to always be ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember last year she hits from the back extremely well, and is a situation where it's kind of hard to account for because she can hit it from anywhere. With that said, do they have a lot of other key players that you guys have to focus on, or do they try to put everything through her and let her make the plays?
Not really. There's only one outside that's decent, but usually the setter sets to her no matter where she is.
Yeah, that's what I recall from last year as well. I felt like almost 100% of the time she was the one hitting it, which is tough because when they're that good. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the volleyball team. We are playing extremely well right now. Picking up 3 consecutive wins, 3-0 versus Napa, De La Salle, and Clatskanie. Really dating back to the second half of that Warrenton volleyball tournament where we kind of struggled early. We've been playing very, very good volleyball, and that's a testament to what Coach Hackwitt's doing with the team. Morgan Blodgett and Katie Blodgett are doing a great job in the middle blocking, working their tails off. Asia Lambert's doing a great job from the libero position, passing the ball, getting us into positions that Claire can set it. Landry, as we mentioned earlier, is hitting the ball extremely well from all over the court, playing very good defense. Sierra Lyons, I think, has probably been our most consistent server. And also, Michelle Arney's hitting the ball very well from the front. I think she had quite a few kills last night. With that said, thanks for joining us this week on the Warrior Word. We'll be back for our final segment. Go Warriors.
We'll take another time out here on the Warrior Word, brought to you each week by Warrenton Kia. And also thanks to our additional sponsors, the South Jetty Dining Room and Bar in Hammond and Seaside Factory Outlets. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about Warriors volleyball and cross country next on the Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach. And welcome back to the Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach, brought to you every week by Warrenton Kia. And it's a weekly chat show with Robert Hopeful, the Warrenton High School Athletic Director, about all things Warrior sports. And now that we're into the fall season, we've got football going on, also volleyball and cross country. And Robert's got a couple of his student athletes in the studio with us. And I think we're going to be talking about cross country now.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's the first time we've ever had a cross-country athlete in the booth. We got Krista Morrill in the booth. She's a senior at Warrenton, a fantastic student athlete. She's got a 4.3 GPA, but on top of that, she's also a standout cross-country and basketball player. Been a varsity basketball player for 3 years now. Been on the cross-country team for multiple years as well. I'm excited to talk to her a little bit about the start of their season. We do have some quick results from cross-country from the District 1 pre-districts that happened about a week and a half ago. Just going to run through the results real quick just so you can kind of hear the names of who's participating. Then I'll bring Krista into the conversation and talk a little cross-country. On the boys' side of things, we have 5 boys participating. Luke Lillenwall is leading the way with the Warriors. His time at the pre-districts was 20 minutes, 2 seconds. Alan Martinez was second with a time of 20 minutes, 8 seconds. Axel Martinez, Alan's little brother, 21 minutes, 47 seconds. Forrest Bigelow posted a time of 22:51. And our 5th boy with a time of 22:45 was AJ Shinbeck. On the girls' side of things, we have I think the biggest team we've ever had for a boys or a girls team at cross country. We have 9 girls out. They're led by freshman Kaisa Lillenwall, who's the sister, of Luke. Her time was 26:51. Taylor Owens had a time of 27:46. Alma Bolanos 28:34. Ivy McCargish 29:54. Saren Potchmit 30 minutes 7 seconds. Krista Morrill 31:51. Madison Cadera 31:55. and Ellie Shinbeck with a time of 32:29. It's a very exciting time for cross country. Coach Haley Esplund, who's our head coach, started the program pretty much from scratch about a decade ago now, and it's been something that's slowly building in our community for years. Last year was the first year that we had a full team, and like I said, this year we're almost to have a full JV team, which is extremely cool. With that said, we got Krista in the booth today. Just going to ask her a few questions. First and foremost, Krista, how many years have you been doing cross country, and what do you like about the sport?
I've been doing cross country since my sophomore year. I've always enjoyed running, so this is a great sport to be able to do that with, and just being able to do something that I love with people who are like-minded in that way. It's really a fun opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the cool things about our cross country team right now, especially, is not only are they good student athletes, but they're all killing it in the classroom as well. So it's a really, really just awesome group of kids to watch compete and see what they're doing both academically and athletically. You guys do have a couple meets under your belt. You will be going to Catlin Gable next Monday for a meet. What's kind of the focus right now as we head into kind of the heart of the season, and how do you feel like you guys are prepared to compete in a really, really tough league?
Right now we're focusing on getting through interval workouts to try to strengthen just our running form overall and our endurance, and hopefully we have a couple really good runners this year, and hopefully that will help them especially get up in their times and hopefully be able to place at some of our district meets and other smaller meets as well.
Absolutely. For those listeners listening today who don't know a ton about how cross country works, can you kind of tell us how far you run and what's a typical meet look like?
Normally, the meets are about 5K, so that's about 3.1 miles. Normally, girls and boys are separated into two separate races. The girls normally go first, and you just get started you start at just a line where everyone stands, and then a gun gets shot, and you're just off, and you gotta go the way you do it.
Absolutely. One of the cool things about cross country is that they get to compete all over the state. They do run in a lot of different cool places. Our rec race is a really cool race that I enjoy each year. And it's a situation where they got to run 3.1 miles. I don't think I can run 0.13 miles. So, it's a testament to them to just finish. And, a lot of these people are if not sprinting, close to sprinting the entire distance, which is something that's really, really impressive and really cool physically. I'm very, very excited to have Krista in the booth. Krista, you got any final parting thoughts for us today, other than just to say go Warriors and good luck to your team on Monday?
Not really. I just hope that we all do well, as we continue on in the season, and just hope that we get better every single day.
And that's all you can do. Just continue to improve each day. Really happy to have both Krista and Claire with us this week on the show. A couple Warrior athletic previews for the upcoming week. This Friday we play Neocani in football at Neocani. Go down and support the Warriors. It's about a 45-minute drive, down the coast to watch that game if you have the time. Friday at 7 p.m. As mentioned earlier, we got a huge volleyball game this Thursday with Rainier at home, matching up a couple teams that are 2-0 in league. Rainier's very, very good. It's a team that got us just barely every time last year, and I'd love to get them this year. So if you can come out and support the Warriors this Thursday night at home, that would be awesome. Cross country Monday at Catlin Gable. They'll be competing and with a lot of league teams to really get a good grasp for where they're at. Once again, thank you for joining us on the Warrior Word this week. We'll be back next week for more Warrior athletics.
That'll do it for the Warrior Word this week, brought to you each week by Warrenton Kia. And also thanks to our additional participating sponsors, South Jetty Dining Room and Bar in Hammond and the Seaside Factory Outlets. We're going to meet you back here next week to talk some more Warrior sports. For Greg from Warrenton Kia and Robert Hopeful, I'm Sean O'Connor saying you stay classy, Warrenton, and we'll be back here next week on the Warrior Word on 106.3 The Beach.
This has been the Warrior Word, the first and last word on Warrenton High School athletics. Brought to you by Warrenton Kia. Tune in Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Warrior Word, heard exclusively on 106.3 The Beach.